Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
No, for real. No, I'm serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie.
Big Slice.
Big Slice?
Yes, yes.
All right, nigga. They call me Puto, cuz.
Right.
And that person, big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Now, I'm not sure as to why or how Govan Hernandez would have any idea about who caused the shots between Gucci Mane and his wife. Or I have no idea why a respected platform would be interested in putting out content of his opinion on Gucci Mane and his wife dynamic. However, there is a platform that I respect, Cam Capone News, that recently apparently did an interview with this guy, and he's been clipping it up. I reacted to a title or two. I believe it's just one they may have been to. But this one states that Gucci Mane wife run the show or something like that, and the constant, consistent, continuous content creation campaign continues in the black box. So therefore, I decided to tap in and see what Govan Hernandez has to say about Gucci Mane's wife running the show. And it's probably the one who had him, I'm pretty sure, telling, it's TA, can't see the rest of the words, so probably talk to the feds or tell him. And I know for a fact, so many times, and this is different when you're being victimized. I can't say, you can't put that on the females. But when usually dudes become subject to their freedom being taken by the law, often the female in their life causes them, if they were on the fence about are they going to cooperate, stay stumped down, getting phone calls like, and hearing that body heat, that soft skin, that she telling you how the pillow smell like you and she miss you, and then she starts suggesting, I know you ain't finna jeopardize being with me and your baby for them dumbass niggas. You better whoop-de-whoop. A lot of times parents even tell them that. And that be the motivation for a lot of people to fuck around. But with no further ado, on the flip side, let's see what Hernandez says Gucci Mane and his wife has been up to.
Well, they're saying Pooh is like he was one of the last young street star rappers that hip hop has seen in a long time. You know, he had the potential to make like at least 10 million this summer just touring.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, he was gone. Yeah, once he got out that monitor and all of that shit, he was about to get to it. So, you know, that's why. And if he would have checked, you know, the track record of Gucci, I think he would have made another decision. Because if you think about it, Cam, just think about the people that were signed to Gucci back in the day. You got Nicki Minaj, you got Waka Flocka, who else you had? Young Thug. He let all these people out the country. You know, when shit got disgruntled and people wanted out, he ain't hold nobody hostage. He let them go. So if Poop would have went to him the right way, even if he didn't just let you go, I'm sure he would have been willing to work something out number-wise where you could have got up out the deal and still have your freedom.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I mean, yeah, because he did all this, and from what I understand, he's still signed to 1017.
Yeah, he's still signed because you can't make nobody sign something under duress. You know, it won't hold up in nobody's court. You know, and I don't know if they was banking on Gucci Mane's reputation and his track record to keep charges from being filed or whatever. I guess they thought Gucci, you know, was so street and so gangster. This WAP we talking about here. I'm thinking they felt like the police could never get involved because WAP would never do that. But this not the same Gucci that we talking about from back in the
Go look right here on the Black Box, shout out to 504 Street Stores, reacting to a story he did, and he made it very clear, this packed with proof and evidence. This ain't no new Gucci. Gucci been snitching since 05. He been doing this for 20 years.
Today, we talking about a Gucci man that takes psych meds in the morning and at night.
Gucci man was taking psych meds back then. And the fact that he wasn't taking them on schedule back then has caused for a lot of industry stories behind the scenes where a lot of people, shout out Red Cafe, are aware that Gucci man is extremely imbalanced. Oh, my mama.
Talking about the Gucci man that got a caretaker as his wife. We talking about the Gucci man that you ain't heard him have a conversation or heard him hold a conversation in years. You know, all he do is bobble his head up and down. No, you know, so with that being said, we ain't dealing with the same Gucci, so you know you can't expect the same results. And it showed you in black and white when the paperwork came out. You know, he actually identified 30 and Pooh.
Yes, the paperwork dropped, and
that's a nice shot. The way you see how you got that shit on the wall? I got a light with the ability to do that. That's like a light, and they got like these little, matter of fact, I'm gonna show you. Hold on. I think it's actually dead. See this light right here? You see the shape in the middle? Let me see if I put the charger on it, if it'll light up for y'all. But that's how that effect is made on the wall. That's a good camera too that they're utilizing. But I like the way that chair matches the skin tone, matches the color on the wall, and that artificial shadow, making the it works like this. Let's see if we can get the, oh yeah, okay. It's on blue now, right? So if I shine it back there on the wall, it needs to be closer to the wall for you to actually see the print appear. But it came with like a gang of different ones that make different shapes on the wall. I got that. I could put them lines on the wall. I could put it in 4 different colors. What, red, white, yellow, and blue. I could have got a full spectrum color, but I didn't get it for the sake of the colors, but I like how this set is set up. And we're going to experiment with some of the same things on my right here in the Black Box.
Yeah, it showed that. And I mean, everybody was really, really surprised, man.
Yeah.
You know, because there's videos of Gucci going viral now, like,
yeah,
I'll never
snitch. I ain't never told, and you know, and he used to be hard on Jeezy, saying Jeezy slick told and all of this, and you turn around, I ain't never seen Jeezy name in black and white on no paperwork pointing nobody out, ever.
Right.
You know, so with that being said, you know, I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because, you know, if you go look at that Breakfast Club interview, he basically, his life being ran by his wife. So I'm sure she wanted to see the people that was allegedly involved. I'm sure she wanted to see them in prison. So I think, you know, she probably played a major role in that as well.
You know, what really trips me out about these situations is like, Gucci really didn't even need to snitch. He could have just walked right out. And when the police knocked on his door some days later, he could have just been like, I don't know. I forget. And they was all going to snitch. And all the rest of those people were civilians, off-duty cop.
Yeah.
He got to report it or he going to get in real trouble.
Get in trouble. Yeah, he going to get in trouble, you know. So
you know what I'm saying? So he didn't even need to snitch. Nah. He threw his everything away for really nothing.
For nothing, yeah. All you had to do was say, man, look, y'all talk to my lawyer. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to say. It's just that simple. Y'all talk to my lawyer.
Threw everything away. I get what he actually threw away, but I don't know if that's actually everything, because can anyone honestly say you think there's going to be less people at his shows, less people doing downloads, less people streaming his music? I doubt it if you really think about it.
But again, you know, I think his wife, she's cheating. the way she talked, I'm sure when the feds came, she answered the door, you know, because she run the show. And I'm sure she let them in. I'm sure she don't want her husband being involved in no street shit.
You used to see a type of female that didn't respect her man getting down with the police. It seemed like that kind of female don't exist no more. I don't know a female that'll tell him, nah, baby, you better stay in there and keep it solid. That wouldn't be right. Because you might, if it is a female like that, how much does she really love you? She'd rather be away from you and have you in prison. It's deep, man. Stay away from this lifestyle
Anymore at this point. So she probably let him in and probably said, babe, the police here. They want to talk to you. You know, and because that's how their relationship goes. It's like she wear the pants over there. So I could see that playing out like that, and she might have intentionally didn't give him his meds that morning, or did give him his meds to make him cooperate. But the old Gucci, the old WAP, I just can't see him doing what he just did the other day.
And you know, they have a detailed account of what happened in the booth. So it's kind of like how they get that detailed account, because it was only Gucci and them.
Exactly.
From what I understand, the cameraman wasn't in there, his friend wasn't in there, the off-duty cop wasn't in there. It was Gucci, Pooh, and maybe, you know, somebody else with Pooh.
Exactly. So how do Pooh didn't tell it.
Right.
His homie didn't tell it. So, you know, they had to come from Gucci, you know, and they already said they don't have no video from inside. So they had to come from Gucci. And, you know, how do you explain that? You know, so it's crazy.
Yes. So you're blaming everything. Well, I don't know if you're blaming everything, but a lot of this is being put on his wife. You know, why do you think his wife has so much influence? And, you know, what about the wife?
I mean, if what she says is true in the interviews about his mental and
if she's a true wife, then she is living up to the title of being his better half. And if he is at a deficit mentally, like he just described and how I've been sharing and how a lot of people are aware, she needs to overcompensate and run things and control things. That is her obligation. So he can stay on his toes. Because if she does not and allow him to utilize the mind frame that has caused him to make reckless, irresponsible decisions in the past, she is not then being his better half. She's actually being his worst half. And often the worst thing a man can do, or a woman, is try to speak their perspective on a marital relationship from the outside looking in. Because if nothing is your business, this is one thing that is definitely nobody's business except the two people involved in the union.
You know, him going crazy here and there and having episodes and them having to tie him up, the security team having to tie him up and get him to the hospital. If all of that is true, then yeah, you know, she says she answers his phone for him. She pays his bills. She has all the passwords to his social medias, you know, all of that. She said all of this in the Breakfast Club interview. That's why I say he has a caretaker. So that
perhaps he is in need of a caretaker. I don't imagine or hope you're not speaking down on her providing that for him if that is indeed what he needs. What would you prefer him to find assistance from someone on the outside, from an institution, a white person, somebody to have somebody love on you, care on you, C-nuck your B-nalls, lick all over you, and manage your life and keep you safe and sound? I don't see how you could beat that, especially when you actually need a caretaker.
That leads me to believe that she is more than likely behind his decision to cooperate. Because before it actually came out that he cooperated, I was willing to bet my Social Security number, man. WAP ain't doing no cooperating. He got too much to lose, reputation-wise, you know, in the streets. You know, he deal with some stand-up dudes. You know, I know him and Wack, got a relationship, and, you know, Wack don't tolerate, Wack don't deal with
Yeah, he just lost all credibility whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he gets no more play in the black box. This dude is a buffoon. He's sitting here with all this presumed intelligence, and he came out his mouth and says something as preposterous as representing Ho No Hundred as a stand-up solid dude, as if somehow Gucci's man decision and Ho No Hundred's reaction caused it to be a detrimental consequence. He's a joke, man. Yeah, he will get no more play in the black box. I can't believe he said that bullshit.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. A nigga on here just sound like a hater trying to hate on that union, especially when you describe him as a person that is in need of a caretaker. To have a fine one that don't give a fuck about what the world say, that's gonna overdo it and make sure you're looking good every time you hit the public. You can't ask for a better one that's gonna freak you down too and be faithful, scandal free. You just hating, man. Oh my mama. And we got a G on the menu today. OG Cartoon Fire Tray. I was scrolling through YouTube, stumbled across cartoon with a Bible, and his title read, I Choose to Believe. Not sure what my title would read because I'm not quite sure what his angle was. A lot of thoughts went through my mind when I saw this. I'm quite familiar with cartoons content, and I can't say I ever can recall him sharing any type of biblical or spiritual story. Not that I have heard all of his content, of course, but I'm pretty familiar with the nature of his content, and he's not Bible thumping. So my first thought was like, man, is he trolling? I said, nah, this dude is too old, too mature, too serious to be trolling. He already has the discipline to not even use profanity. So I was intrigued. I know quite a bit about the Bible, and I know the Bible states that if those that are calling or chosen fail to do so, that even the rocks will cry out and deliver the message. So, hey, with no further ado, let's see what OG Cartoon Fire Tray and the Holy Book has been up
Like Little Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.